which is my absolute favorite number, as you know, 1111. So I know a few more people will be kind of trickling in, but I do want to respect everybody's time that's here right now. So um, I will get started. So, first of all, big warm welcome and thank you so much for coming. You guys, that's awesome. We really appreciate everybody being a part of our Power and Aging community. A couple of quick little Zoom notes. I know everybody's probably no stranger to Zoom at this point, but you do have the power to mute and unmute down at the bottom left. Oh, hi Dee, I just saw you pop in. So we're going to ask everyone to stay muted during Abby's presentation, and then at the end we're going to have a Q&A, so you're welcome to unmute yourself and chat and talk then. If any questions come up during the presentation, you're welcome to type them in the chat box, and then Helena and I will keep an eye on that, make sure that they get addressed afterwards with Abby. I also recommend choosing, if you don't already know this, in the top right corner, you can choose your view. So I recommend speaker view so that Abby is much larger and you can see the full presentation. And then afterwards, when we're in a group, you can jump back into the galley view. What else? Oh, finally, this is going to be recorded. So I just wanted to let people know all of our group coaching sessions are not recorded due to, confidentiality and privacy, but for the presentations, we are going to record them, and we're fortunate enough to be able to put them in our members only section on our website so that you can watch them again and again, or that people who join later on can still benefit from these presentations. So if you have any problems with that, please just turn your camera off if that's okay, or change your name. I don't know. Make up a fake name and turn your camera off or whatever so that you're not recognizable. But just letting everybody know that. So, before I introduce the lovely Abby, I just wanted to give a little brief explanation on the power in aging. And I know that quite a few of you came to our workshops back in March. Again, thank you for that. And then there's a few new faces as well who haven't yet been introduced to power in aging. So, very briefly, and I'm just going to speak from my heart here basically. While I was taking my coaching certification, I just kind of got hit by this big feeling that there was a big gap in the market for group coaching for women specifically coming into, sorry, I'm just letting a couple people in here, coming into sort of middle age. And that's what this for me is all about, is finding ways to help empower women as we hit middle age and as we come up with all of these I'm not going to say problems, but there might be some challenges or some hurdles holding us back, some negative or limiting beliefs that we have still holding on to from, our childhood. And now we want to sort of move forward from this point forward. How do we encourage each other? How do we support and empower each other? So this is what power and aging is all about, and being really okay with being the age we are and coming together like a sisterhood. And that's the great thing about group coaching. One-on-one coaching is fantastic and you get a lot from it, but with group coaching, it's a nice way to feel a part of a community. So our power in aging has evolved. We started off with our workshop, which is about a 2-hour event, and it is a bit of a teaser for our 11-week program. Welcome to those just popping on as well. So we have an 11-week course that will be starting the end of September. And that course will delve in nice and deep each week to the different topics of, ageism, stereotypes, beliefs, grief, all of the things that we go through coming into midlife. And again, that's going to be starting at the end of September. So if you haven't yet taken our workshop, I do encourage you to come for that. And we have one coming up on this Sunday, Eastern Standard Time. It is at 1:11 p.m. So that's 6:11 p.m. in the UK and 10:11 p.m. or a.m. in BC. We got many time zones here. And then what we thought, this needs to be supported ongoing. So after you finish the 11 weeks, what then? So we decided to create a community and an ongoing monthly membership. Now, in the monthly membership, we've already started it. We've kicked it off. And a few of you already became members, so thank you very much for that. Basically, our membership involves a few things. Besides the Facebook community and the member-only access on the website, We are offering 3 events per month with that membership. One is our wonderful guest speaker series, and each month we have different guest speakers coming in and offering their knowledge for us. We also have one group coaching session. And again, this is for members only. So it's a way to reconnect with people that you may have met up with in the course or that you've just sort of bonded with through the community. And each month we'll have a theme as well. So this Sunday, we do have a group coaching session. And our theme is the pandemic raw emotions. I wonder why I thought of that. So that is this Sunday for anybody who is a member or who wants to become a member, and that is at 11:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 3 hours before in BC and 5 hours later. Finally, the last event that we offer is the workshop, the Power and Aging workshop, and that is going to be the same workshop repeated. So you're welcome to come and join us again. Always a new energy, with new people coming in. So you're welcome to rejoin us or invite, friends that might be interested as well. We say it does take a village. So obviously, we are very appreciative of any referrals or spreading the word about the program in the community. We really do want it to grow, and we're really happy that you're going to be a part of it. So that membership, as I mentioned, it's really affordable. We wanted to make it where everyone doesn't have to think whether or not they can join. It's literally 1111, my number, every month, or you can pay 111.11 for the year, which saves you on 2 months, and you'll be given again access to those 3 events and the community. Okay, so if you want more information on that, we'll send it to you, or through our email list as well. And I will not take any more time up plugging that, but without further ado, I would love to introduce to you our special guest speaker tonight. Her name is Abby Broad, and she is a wonderful woman, friend, and coach. She hails all the way from the south of England, so thank you so much, Abby, for staying up to midnight right now to be with us. I was introduced to Abby last year through a mutual friend, and we met on a Zoom meeting, much like this to start with, and we instantly clicked. She is a mindset and mental resilience coach for women, working most specifically with women in business. She is also now my personal business coach, so I can attest to how fabulous she is. She offers a wealth of knowledge and years of experience, and this evening she's going to be sharing some of her top tips with us, and she's going to apply them to life rather than to business so that we can all benefit from it here. And she has also very generously offered to gift each of you with a special ebook that she has written. So thanks very much for that, Abby. And we will definitely forward that to you tomorrow. Please keep your eye out in your email inbox for our follow-up email with that special link as well. Okay, so without further ado, I would love to introduce and pass the baton over to Abby.
Oh, lovely. Oh, what a lovely introduction. That was fantastic, Christine. Thank you so much. And thank you, Christine and Helena, for inviting me to do this. As Christine will confirm, I love to talk. And when I'm talking about women, coaching, mental resilience, living your best life, yeah, I could talk all night. And it is night here, so sorry for the harsh lighting, but it's very dark. It's very, very dark. I do have a presentation. Am I able to share my screen, Christine?
Yes, I think I've enabled that, Abby. Let me know if it's not.
There we go. Okay, right. Can everyone see that okay? A very large me. Okay, brilliant. Right, so I'll jump straight in and get on with it. So thank you also, ladies, for being here. To listen to Christine and Helena and their fantastic, amazing Power and Aging program. I did attend one of the workshops and absolutely loved it. Thought I was okay with aging. So it really brought up some things for me, and it was absolutely fascinating. So I'm all about women. I'm all about empowering women. I've got 4 daughters. They're all grown up now. I'm all about working and empowering, and just getting women to really let go of some of the things, because I think women particularly tend to carry around a lot more baggage than guys. And as you'll hear from my story here, and this is my personal story, so there's laughter and there's tears, okay? So just to pre-warn you, but yes, this is my personal story with mental resilience and my journey. So professionally, I'm a mindset and mental resilience coach for women in business. I began life as a life coach when I first trained, and shifted over into business because it's where I found, um, I found my real happy place. Starting my own business was enough of a struggle, so I wanted to help other women, and I'll talk more about that as we go through the presentation. So women at any stage of their business as well. So Christine, starting out and just qualifying, and while she's had other businesses up until this point, yes, but also a lot of my clients are quite a long way into their business. Many are ready to step back, feeling the pressures of getting older, comes with health issues as well as energy. Just wanting to make it a little bit easier. So many of my clients have been in business a lot longer than me. Generally women over 40, predominantly over 50 now. So I'm in the over 50s club, in case the grey hair. So these are the natural highlights. We were talking about lockdown hair, so this is my lockdown hair. So predominantly women over 40, over 50. And whilst it comes with so many advantages as we get older, there are some struggles that we need to address. So I do one-to-one coaching and group coaching, helping women to build their mental resilience. So I'm not technically a business coach, whilst I have obviously business experience that I do share with my clients. One of the things I love, and this is something Christine and I do a lot of, which is bouncing ideas around. And I'll step out of my coaching role quite often and say, well, try this, I did this, check this person out. I love that collaboration and that chatting, that conversational kind of coaching. Always bringing it back to yourself. So one of the new therapies I'm learning at the moment is embraining. So for anybody, it's quite a new thing. Some of you may have heard of it. It's basically a new therapy which is all about tapping into your three brains. So if you didn't know you've got three brains, you're going to love this. Our head brain, our heart brain, and our gut brain. So we have more neural pathways, more intelligence in our gut than we do in our head. So that's a little bit of interesting information for you. I run a Facebook group called the Mindset Tribe, which is a lovely community. I'm all about supporting and supporting and offering help and knowledge and friendship. I base a lot of what I do with my clients around that relationship of friendship, but the best kind of friend. I only work with my ideal clients. Very much at the beginning, I thought I could coach everyone. It doesn't work. Wanting to fix, coaching is such an amazing thing, but it's a hard sell. It's tough to get people to put the work in and commit. So I only work with my ideal clients. So committed women ready, to put the work in. Predominantly to create harmony without compromise. And what that means is it's that harmony between life and business. When you're a mum, when you're a wife, when you're running a business that you've chosen to have, my clients work, their businesses tend to be their passion, and they're making a choice to have it. Life can get in the way. Our kids will always be our priority. It's not enough to just be told you need to do this, you need to do that, you have to be more present on Facebook, you need to do this. Because if you're in the middle of cooking tea for your kids, or you've got to go and pick them up, that's always going to come first. So I help my clients to make that transition to shift from what, because you can only be in one place. We talk about balance, but you can only actually be in one place at a time. And that's what I do. That's how I help them. By working through the 7 big struggles. Fear, confusion, overwhelm, guilt, time fatigue, can't think of the other ones, isolation. So these are the struggles that I certainly experienced, and that's what I help my clients with. So the question many ask, does it really need to be this hard? Why should being in business be so hard. So I help them to find their way, to find themselves, to center their attention on their own uniqueness, and to actually, push forward in their business and make that shift from struggle to success. So when we talk about success, immediately we think about money, don't we, and having stuff. Yeah, so I live my success every day, and I help my clients to do that the same, their version of success. So that will be having time for themselves, being able to do the things that they want to do. Success is a feeling. And what I hope to do with my clients is to get them to experience that from day one. Don't wait for your business to be the thing you want it to be. Live it right now, because it's your choice. So, okay, so that's the professional me. Okay, so some things you might not know about me. Okay, so it wasn't always as lovely as that. I wasn't always living my success. So, yeah, so I am an identical twin, and which is lovely. I love my sister dearly. We are just so alike and so different. But being an identical twin comes with some challenges. And it wasn't until I wrote a book in lockdown last year that I really started to recognize where some of the issues around being a twin were creating limiting beliefs and stories for me in my life now. We talk a lot of coaches and therapists will do inner child work, and going back over your past. When my body starts kicking off about something, I know it's the 5-year-old in me that's actually kicking off, and a lot of that stems from being a twin. Constant comparisons to my older sister, as well as the person that looked exactly the same as me. I went to school for the first 10 years. I was never called my name. It was one of the twins. Twins were quite unusual back in the 70s as well. So that there weren't lots like there are now. And it also created a lot of issues around codependency. So whilst we both fought desperately for our own identities, it was almost like the moment we had our own identity, we panicked. So I've noticed where over the years I've sought out codependency to kind of replace. So my sister's not a part of my business. I would have loved her to have been, but it's not her bag. It's not her cup of tea at all. While she loves and supports me, she's not interested in what I do. So I've sought to find that codependency in other people and other situations, and it has not always turned out well. As I say, I was born in the 70s. So for those of you who were born in the 70s, yeah, it was a bit different. Yeah, school was a bit different. There was a loser's table. The teachers were, you're the thick kid. Here's the bright kids, here's the thick ones. It's all that kind of stuff. I got by being the fat, funny kid, really. Again, trying to find my own identity, trying to hide, not wanting to bother people. I grew up, so my mum didn't know she was having twins, and it wasn't until 6 weeks before we were due, and she was huge, enormous, and not very well, as you can imagine. And she went to the hospital for an x-ray, and they said, oh, Mrs. Edwards, you're having twins, so, and she wasn't prepared for it. My dad was in the Navy, he was away. So yeah, so she really struggled. I grew up my whole life being the extra one, the one that wasn't planned. And whilst my parents are lovely, absolutely lovely, I had a great childhood, very happy, very contented childhood, I always grew up thinking and feeling like it was my fault. So when money was tight, it was because I was the extra kid. My mum only wanted two. And she had 3 kids. We already had an older sister. So that kind of so not wanting to bother people, wanting to stay small, apologizing for being around. Yeah, it's all stuff that kind of sticks a little bit. I was pretty average. School was not my happy place. I became a bit of a people pleaser, again, not trying not to bother people, thinking if I do everything for everyone else, maybe they won't notice that I'm not supposed to be here. I was unable to take a compliment, and which sounds I don't know if anyone else struggles with the discomfort of people giving you praise and compliments. Being unable to just take a compliment signifies such huge and fundamental low self-esteem, really. Always deflecting, always, but if you can't see how amazing you are, you can't expect other people to see it either. And this led to some really bad choices with boyfriends, bad choices with jobs, bad choices with how I lived my life and what I did. And so by the time I hit my 30s, I was in relationship nightmare. So in 2002, I think I was 31, I think. I can't work it out now. So I just got married, did not want to get married, couldn't get out of it. Yeah, it was one of those situations, and was already pregnant with my second child. So I had one daughter, Ellie, split up from her dad, and then ended up marrying my first husband. Thankfully, at this moment, and yeah, so getting married and being pregnant and realizing you just made the biggest mistake of your life, yeah, it didn't start well. However, as a result of that marriage, I met Lisa. Lisa was the girlfriend of our best man, so we were like friends, really. I didn't know her beforehand. We kind of became friends. And she was just amazing, absolutely amazing. Introduced me to spirituality. She talked about angels. She was very gifted in that respect. And she was also training to be a counselor. And looking back, her techniques were very kind of coaching based as well. She was also my mentor and my friend. And yeah, it was an absolutely life-changing friendship, and I will be forever grateful for it. And most importantly, the thing that she repeatedly instilled upon me was, Abby, look at yourself, look at what you're doing, you're amazing, look inwards. I was doing a lot of blaming. I'd made some really shit decisions, but I was blaming. Why do these people always treat me so badly? Why do I always end up in these situations? And what she taught me was to be curious about it. She asked me the question, Abby, what part are you playing in all of this? And I was like, oh, so I have a choice then. Your life isn't written for you. You every day is a new chapter. And I hadn't until that point even contemplated the fact. Even at 30, I thought, that's it, it's too late to change. Yeah, so getting older, hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? The wisdom, if only we'd known back then what we know today. So I put the work in with Lisa. So whilst it was a friendship-based relationship, I didn't pay her to counsel me. She was training as a counsellor, so I was a guinea pig, basically, a very willing guinea pig. And yeah, life absolutely began to change. But as we know with the work, things often get worse before they get better. And by that point, I then started to realise, the mistakes that I'd made. And then I started to feel like I needed to make some changes, because you don't know what you don't know, do you, at that point? Okay, so this is me in 2009, looking very skinny,
Abby,
very skinny.
sorry to interrupt. Is there a way to make your slides bigger? I think on the bottom corner, I've just had a little request maybe so they can read it a little
Oh,
bit more. I think Helena said the bottom right corner. Is that right, Helena?
If you go to this little book on the left,
Oh, left.
the one on the left where you were.
And it would. Sorry to interrupt.
no,
Here,
that's okay.
sorry, it's beside where your mouse was.
Here?
On the very right.
Oh, left. You said left.
And now left. Yes, she found it.
Thank you.
There we go. Is that better?
Perfect. Thank you.
Every day's a school day, isn't it? So there you go. There you go. brilliant. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. Do apologize. Okay, so so this is me in 2009. So 7 years into my marriage. Looking very skinny. But as we do when we look back at these photos, we go, oh, I wish I was that thin now. And then I look and I think, oh yeah, but I would not want to be feeling how I was feeling at that point. So I just got separated from my husband, which was a good thing, obviously. But even when you want something to happen, it still comes with consequences. So I had 2 children that I had to manage through that process. I was about to lose my home, sell my house and that kind of stuff. And I was about to lose my best friend. So I was pretty exhausted and pretty broken at this point. And this was actually my first ever Facebook profile picture. Hence the big smile, because I was like, oh, I need to get on Facebook and everyone's talking about this thing. And so I got my niece to take the photos of me. That's a very fake smile, ladies, a very fake smile. So the 15th of July 2009 was the moment I knew I was mentally resilient. So I was asked by a client once when I was running a workshop talking about mental resilience, and she said, well, Abby, when did you know that you'd done it? When did you realize you were mentally resilient? And initially I wanted to say, oh, that's a very interesting question. What makes you ask me that? And then I stopped and I thought, well, actually, okay, it was this moment. So I got the phone call. So Lisa had been poorly. So for the last 2 years leading up to 2009, Lisa had been very poorly. So she was a lot younger than me as well. She was only 31 at the time. And I got the phone call to say she'd passed away. And what I realized in that moment, whilst I was the saddest I've ever been, not broken by it, the realization of everything I'd been working towards with her, she'd made absolutely certain that I and the other people around her were going to be okay, that we were going to be able to carry on. Lisa was just the most incredibly mentally resilient person. Okay. So I knew in that moment what I needed to do, and it was so I was not going to waste another second of my life, not another second. So I'd been putting a lot of the work in. I'd built my mental resilience, and I was able to move forward. And this is really where things started to change for me. So with Lisa's blessing and her encouragement, she said, Abby, you've just been so curious about this process, because quite often we would have conversations. She'd ask me kind of, coaching, counseling kind of questions. And I would always say, what are you doing to me? I can feel something shifting. What is it you're doing? What are you actually, what is this process? So I was always very curious about counseling and about coaching and about self-awareness. I wanted to know all about it. So I trained as a person-centered counselor originally, which was just amazing, absolutely amazing. And then in 2015, I did a diploma in life and performance coaching with NLP. I then trained as a trainer in order to actually teach the diploma itself as well. So I was just completely absorbing all the knowledge and all the learning I possibly could about this. I sacrificed huge amounts of time and also money as well, really investing in this. And by the time I had qualified, I thought, I really wanted to be able to do this as my job. Coaching was starting to become a thing. I had a friend who lived in Australia who was a life coach, and I thought, this just sounds like the perfect job. It's got to be amazing. It's transformational. Everyone's going to want it. And because I thought I'd discovered this kind of secret way to earn amazing amounts of money, sharing all this passionate knowledge, people were going to be, banging the door down for it, because who wouldn't want it? It's amazing. Who wouldn't want it? Yeah, so then I realized it wasn't a secret, and that being in business was going to be a lot harder, a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And I wasn't prepared for it. I trained as a coach, and whilst during that process was taught a little bit about what business might look like, it did not prepare me for what was to come, definitely. And because I'd invested myself so emotionally in it and financially, I was exhausted by this point, absolutely exhausted before I'd even started, and that was kind of part of the problem. So mistakes, oh my goodness, how many mistakes can you make in business? Well, I've made all of them, every single one. And I make no secret of it either. So the first mistake was thinking that all I had to do was work hard. So I'm a grafter. I am absolutely, if I am a get it done person, I'm organized, I'm methodical, I'm reliable. Yeah, so I just thought all I had to do was work hard. Yeah, so being an entrepreneur is not about working hard. Realizing that my coaching training was just the start. My coaching training was actually for me, as it is, as it, you know, that's how it happens. So I had, you know, gone through this amazing transformation, but I just didn't know how to turn it into a business. Social media was a minefield. I'd only just started on Facebook, didn't realize that social media was where you now promote a business. To me, business was my only knowledge or understanding or experience of people who had their own business were like plumbers and electricians and Avon ladies who, you know, but of course that's not how business comes to you nowadays. Had absolutely no idea how to run a business and no one to ask. I did not know anybody that did or had done what I'd done. Never heard of networking. Certainly, you know, didn't work on Zoom or anything like that. And yeah, so I did get a few clients, but they were the wrong clients, usually men wanting to whinge about their wives. I got a lot of those. And because I hadn't defined what I wanted to do, there was a lot of yeah, I made it very, very hard for myself, trying to work with everybody, trying to fix everyone, trying to fix too many problems, trying to address too many different types of issue. And I was just completely exhausted by the whole thing. And my limiting beliefs started to come back, and they were haunting me. And I was so exhausted by it all. My health was starting to be affected. I got very depressed. We had no money, and it was my fault. You know, I was blaming myself because I'd given up my job to follow my dream. And whilst my husband was incredibly supportive, yeah, we were skint, absolutely skint. I'd spent half our wedding budget training to be a coach. So whilst with his blessing, I was beating myself up massively and feeling so guilty because I told him that this thing was going to be a miracle and was going to earn us loads of money, and I was failing, absolutely failing. So, and also starting to feel the effects of being in my late 40s. You know, I did this journey in my 30s and it was exhausting then. Yeah, when you start to have to do it again. And that was the realization. It was the realization that I was going to have to go back and do the steps. And this is where it started to change. So I realized that what I'd done in my life, I needed to go back and redo. I was struggling with all the same sorts of things that I'd done in my life, and I was now just going to have to apply them to my business. The noise in my head was incredible, and it was stopping me from hearing help, advice, whatever. So I went back and, you know, to the start and redid those steps, redid the steps for mental resilience, all the stuff I'd learned with Lisa, but applying it to my business. And that's where I came up with the 7 big struggles. And this is the basis of the program that I run with my clients as well. And I deal with these every day myself. You know, it doesn't go away. You know, it gets easier, but it doesn't go away. So isolation was a huge trigger for me. And that's what kind of catapulted all these different things, because I was looking for I didn't have a Lisa. I needed a Lisa. Self-doubt was being triggered because I kept telling myself it was because I was a shit coach. That's why no one wants you. That's why you can't do this. It's because you're not a very good coach. You need to go and learn something more. So I did a lot of procrastinating. Confusion, again, I was terrified of making more bad choices. And I did make lots of bad choices. A lot of coaches and business owners will spend money on things that they think are going to help them or rescue them, you know, and investing, you know, even when you've got no money, what actually happens, you end up spending money to try and recoup that money. And whilst I am fully aware of you need to invest obviously in your business, yeah, we can make some very, very bad choices. Again, I was back to people pleasing, not wanting to bother people, you know, being on social media. It was like every time I'd see somebody doing something similar, I'd be like, oh yeah, I can't do that now because I don't want to upset them. That must be their thing. Yeah, okay. So the realization, if you're going to be a coach and you're going to work online, you're going to cross paths with other people that do the same thing as you. Guilt again, because I felt selfish, because I kept pursuing, I kept going, and I wouldn't give up. I was exhausted. Time fatigue. Didn't know how to use my time well. Time is a massively amazing tool for mental resilience if you can use your time well, because time will trigger anxiety, because we try and operate too much either this way or that way. Getting your head around time actually helps you to focus in the moment, because you can only be in this moment. You can't be there and you cannot be there. You have to be in this moment. But your brain and your body doesn't want you to do that. You have to practice it. And overwhelmed, because I forgot who I was. I forgot what I already knew. And I was just becoming massively so overwhelmed for me. My definition of it is that we get overwhelmed when we forget to do the things that bring us joy. Overwhelmed doesn't come from being busy. It comes from not doing enough of the things that make us happy. And I'd forgotten what made me happy. So I had to go back and redo the steps. And this process is what I now use with my clients. So using all my mistakes and all my discoveries, I now help my clients to hopefully avoid some of these for themselves, but also to get past them a lot quicker. So this is me and my family in 2019. So this is my daughter Maya. It was her prom. Hence why she's the one in the pretty dress. And this is my other daughter Ellie, and this is my now husband Dave. Yeah, so doing the work does bring rewards, trust me. So he's not perfect, but he is perfect for me. And these are his two daughters, Lauren and Taylor. So yeah, so I always imagined I'd have 4 kids. I'm glad I didn't actually have to have 4 children, but I got my 4 girls. And yeah, so we got married in 2016, right in the middle of all my training, so that was great. Yeah, and life is just amazing, absolutely amazing and happy. So I'm very grateful for that. So my life today, I have a thriving coaching practice that I love. My business is called Now Watch Me Fly. And you know, and this is what I hope with my clients, is that, you know, it's that kind of like pushing you out of the nest kind of thing, giving you the strength to actually fly for yourself. I've got a husband and a family who support and challenge me to be the best version of myself every day. I am living my best life, and I have turned my passion into profit. I wrote a book in lockdown. So they say that everyone has a book inside of them. I definitely had one in me, and it was very uncomfortable sitting on it. I never imagined I'd be able to write a book. Again, telling myself that writing a book is something clever people that can spell. You know, okay, so your computer's got a spell check, and, you know, editors, that's what they're for. And so writing that book was a massively releasing process for me. So it's my startup journey. It's my personal journey, you know, into business. Yeah, and I wake up joyful every day. I love my life. I love my clients. I love what I do. I love who I do it with. It has taken conscious effort to get to that point. It's not a given. And I've just recently launched a second business. Like, one wasn't hard enough. I mean, don't get me wrong, I haven't nailed it. I'm not here in business. I'm still working to grow my business and that kind of stuff. So, but I've just launched a second business, which is dog boarding for senior dogs. So we lost our dog, our old dog, in lockdown. Yeah, so my husband and I started doing that together. So, oh my God, it's such a much easier sell, definitely, than coaching. But I'm hoping that I can do the two things together, because I've made myself completely unemployable. No one would ever employ me anymore. Got way too many strong opinions about stuff, and I love working for myself. As hard as it's been, I love it. I would not change it. And I highly recommend it. So my 12 top tips. Okay, so in the PDF that you're going to get, the ebook that you'll get tomorrow, that Christine's going to send to you, is a detailed explanation of these 12 steps. So it's not rocket science. It's probably not even going to come as new information for you guys, but it's the process that I've worked personally in my life, and I do apply this now also to my business. Yeah, so my 12 top tips for building your mental resilience over the age of 40. Yeah, get a coach. If you want to make a change, if you want to make a difference, if you want to do anything different, if there's something that you're yet to do or achieve, or there's a change either happening to you or because of you, get a coach. One that will challenge you, one that will raise the bar, okay, but one you like, a friend. Yeah, I'm quite a challenging coach in some respects, but I'm not one of these kind of ball busting ones. Christine hopefully will agree with that. Yeah, you want somebody that, yeah, okay. So ask her the difficult questions sometimes, but yeah, we want support, don't we? And and setting goals. So why do you want to do it? You need to look at why you want to make that change. It needs to be for you. Creating positive belief, around your choices, dealing with limiting beliefs as they've cropped up, do what feels right and know your core values. So I work a lot with, I mentioned M-braining earlier in the presentation. So I'm learning a lot. I'm still learning this therapy, this process. But what I work with my clients is understanding what your core values are, your core behaviors and your core beliefs. By aligning those three, you become the strongest version of yourself, because we need to communicate with ourselves. We do not, mobilization comes from your gut, not your head. So if you're holding back from doing something, it is your gut that is holding you back. And in order to increase that motivation to actually get people to take action and remove those blocks, you need to communicate with all three. So thinking long term and trusting the process. Yeah, have a plan. I work on a plan with my business, but it also includes my life as well. I've got stuff I want to get done in my life, and it all goes in the plan. Exercise for the mind and body, stay mentally fit. So I started yoga yesterday. Can you tell? Yeah, so I'm very good at staying mentally fit and feeding my mind. I'm not so great with the whole body thing. I kind of go in waves of caring about what I put in my body and what I do with my body, and the periods where it's I can be okay and it goes unnoticed are getting shorter. So I need to really focus on that. Don't fear failure. Failure is where we learn. I mean, that's not going to be new information, ladies. Yes, it's what we tell our kids, isn't it? Just give it a go. Just have a go. No one's watching. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah, okay, you've got to fail. You've absolutely got to fail. Stand up for what you believe in, play your own game, be you. Don't try and compete with other people. Don't try and be other people. Don't judge yourself for not being like other people. Everything you need to know, every ounce of your strength is already within you. You already know every single answer to every single question you're ever going to need to know. Okay. Don't care what others think. Avoid negativity. So there will be people. So if you're about to make a change, if you're gonna, if you're gonna take Christine and Helena's program, if you want to make a change in your life, it's not a given that everybody will come along for the ride. People tend to identify with, the version of you that fits them. So when you start to make a change, you may find that there will be resistance. Work with that, and yeah, you'll get there in the end. And do more of what makes you happy. And when you're doing what makes you happy, you will always bring your A game, and that's in work, in life, in business, whatever. Do the stuff that makes you happy. Life's short, ladies. Okay, it is short. Okay, so my final top tip: get to know yourself, because when you know, like, and trust yourself, the rest is just a list of, and I'm going to, what I normally say to my clients, and the rest is just a list of shit to get done. Okay, it's just stuff to do. Know, like, and trust yourself. That is the key to life and to success in business, but also success in life. And it was the thing that Lisa, always tried to tell me, and because it's only on reflection, in the moment, at the time, I didn't really understand that was what was happening. I get it now. I understand it now. Mental resilience will be the best tool. You are your best friend. Okay, treat yourself well. Okay. And finally, yeah, so thank you for listening, really. So there is a link. So Christine's going to share that tomorrow. You can follow me on social media. Christine will share the links for that as well. I work mostly with women in business. So if you've got a business, and want to follow me, I offer lots of free tips and resources and stuff on social. I'm making Instagram my bitch this year, so I'm doing reels and videos and all sorts of stuff. So if you're on Instagram, yeah, you'll be able to see me there. And yeah, so that's it. That's really me, basically. So I'd love to answer some questions. I saw the comments coming up, so I hope you've got some questions for me. What I would just like to ask you, ladies, is one question, which is, how has your mental resilience changed over the years? Do you find your mental resilience is stronger now in your later years, or has it become weaker? Okay, there we go. That's me. All right. Shall I stop sharing my thing?
Yes, thank you, Abby. Now we can see you even better. Somebody had to leave and they've messaged me, so I apologize that they popped off. But thank you. That was absolutely wonderful. I've written so many notes down, and some of the things you said, I have to say, I live with a British husband, but I don't know, the accent doesn't get old, and it just, the way you say it, making Instagram my bitch, I love it. So thank you for that lovely share. I'm going to open it up right now. First of all, does anybody in the group have any questions that have popped up? If you want to just unmute yourself. Anybody think of anything?
How long did it take you, Abby, to conquer your stuff and really, grow into who you are and your purpose, etc.?
Is that Melanie just asked that question?
Yeah, sorry, my video isn't working.
Yeah, no, okay. Thank you, Melanie. What a lovely question. So my initial response is it's a work in progress. I'm still working on it. But I would say that so I became aware in 2002 that change was possible. Until that point, it just didn't even occur to me. And probably for about 10 years, I really worked that process, learning, practicing, because it's the thing, we've got to implement it as well, and noticing the difference. So probably 10 years of, yeah, to a point at which I could say in my life, you know, I was kind of like where I needed to be, because it's the 4 stages of competence, isn't it? So, you know, for a long time, it was a very conscious process. Then I started to know what I needed to know and be aware of it. The final stage of kind of being curious, automatically curious, that, you know, losing the blame, being curious about my own responses. Yeah, I would put 10 years, 10 years of work to do that. And this is the thing with the business, I had to go back and do those 4 stages again, you know. But yes, it's every day's a new situation. There's always something new to learn. I panic sometimes what might happen if when I don't need to learn stuff anymore. You know, I feed off that, the challenge, to be fair. But yes, it does take time. It does, but some things can be instant. So Melanie, can I ask you, are you on a process? Are you on a path? Are you wanting to make a change?
Yeah, of course. I think that again, every section of life really has something to grow into, or changes that, you know, need to occur, whether it's in business or relationships, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It happens quicker when you have a coach. That's the thing, you know, when you've got somebody or people around you that can challenge you, because we can't always do this work for ourselves. You know, we need quite often someone, a person or a tool, to actually draw that information out of us. So yeah, well, good luck, Melanie, with with the next stage.
If I have a question, unless somebody else has something they want to jump in with. You mentioned, and I love this expression as well, procrastinating. And I think a lot of us, as we get older and maybe we're looking for, you know, that one special thing, can really appreciate that expression. So, where is the fine line that says, okay, we've learned enough and just, you know, go for it? And where is that line that says, no, no, you know what I mean? Oh, I mean, I tell myself I just want to keep growing and learning and I can't get enough, right? But is that more procrastinating and is it holding me back?
It's a really, really interesting, very good question, Christine. So my feelings, my beliefs around, so we never want to stop learning, do we? The goal is not to stop learning. We always want to be feeding ourselves with knowledge and experiences. When it becomes procrastinating, is when we then forget to take action. So if you're feeding yourself with knowledge, particularly if it's to do with, you know, if with a business or for a purpose, like qualifications, for example. I mean, reading books, listening to books, watching stuff, yeah, we can always be feeding ourselves with that. If you're taking qualifications or training, if you're always learning and not taking action on that learning or recouping the benefits from it, then that's where I would offer you would need to be questioning yourself. So what I would say to my clients is what's the goal? If you're about to embark upon another qualification, is it because you need it for your business? If so, what's the plan? Okay, what's the plan for what you're going to do with it? Or are you just circling back here because learning is a lovely, kind, safe space, isn't it? You know, promoting it. I did that for a long time, you know, got so addicted to learning and so comfortable with it, but I wasn't taking any action to engage with clients or to use that information, you know, I kept thinking I'll just sit here and hide in my lovely learning, because for a long time I was told I was too stupid to learn. So of course when you realize that you're not stupid and that actually I'm really quite bright and I'm actually really good at what I do, that's a lovely feeling. Well, it's an addictive feeling, isn't it? Oh, I feel clever when I'm learning. I didn't feel clever when I was trying to sell my business, you know, promote on. Yeah, so we avoid. It becomes procrastinating when we're not doing the other stuff as well. You can learn, but learn and act at the same time. It's a dual process.
That makes total sense. Thank you for that. Oh, Helena?
Yes. Thank you so much, Abby. I really, really enjoyed their presentation. And I think maybe you heard some things about my life because it seems that you're talking to me. And I am currently studying to become a counselor. And I'm currently doing emotional wellness. And I really, really enjoyed what you said, that success is a feeling. I think we are so used to imagine that success can be measured in money, I would say, mostly. And I love this idea that success is a feeling and not necessarily measurable. And we can measure ourselves as we feel it, and another thing that I made a note, and I think it's absolutely fantastic and has to do with this, that success is a feeling, is that you said I wake up every day with joy. And yeah, I don't know if I have a question, but I wanted to mention this because it really resonates with me, those two things, and this idea that I'm going to have a business and I will measure this success, and but that I can feel the success is absolutely fantastic. I think that was my takeaway of tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And good luck with your counselling training. I loved counselling. I learned so much. It was just incredible. And I do refer back to it personally, but also professionally as well. I loved coaching because my driver behaviours are for results. So, yeah, I talk too much to be a counsellor. I move too much to be a counsellor. And I take my hat off. To be fair, the honest answer is I just thought I'm never going to be good enough at this. It's such a skilled and serious and such amazing therapy. So well done for that. That feeling of success, it's so important. We hear it all the time. What's your why? We ask it a lot of people in business. Why are you doing this? You need to understand. But you absolutely do, because when you hit a bump in the road or you get distracted, you've got to remind yourself. It's like any process, really, is that if you're on a fitness program, why are you doing it? You've got to understand the feeling of what you're going to achieve. Every goal is an emotion. There's an emotion attached to every single thing we want to achieve, and it is that mobilizes us and keeps us going. When you start a business, it's hard enough as it is, and when you're choosing it, your brain is going to go, you've got a choice, love. You can stop doing this whenever you want. You can stop. So if you can tap into your why, part of my why is I wanted to be present in my life and be home. Well, lockdown was an absolute gift for me. It was like, with all due respect to how horrendous it's been, and I get that, it's been horrible, but it also came at a perfect time for me, because this is what I want. I want to be present in my life, and to be able to still do my business and work remotely was a gift, an absolute gift, and it tapped into and motivated me because it was my why. I can be here with my family and still run my business. So so good luck with that, Helena. Really good luck.
Anybody else have any questions? I had one final one. The lovely chart that you're going to provide for everybody with the 12, I think, step process. I stop on 11 always.
I should have done 11, shouldn't I?
Everything's 11 for me. And actually, I highlighted number 11 because it was about avoiding negativity and not caring what others think. just a question for those of us maybe going to try to follow through the steps. If you are struggling, let's say on step 3 or 4, whatever it is, do you recommend like stopping there to really do the work before moving on to the next step? Or would that be something that you can just take a mental note of that needs work and then still move forward to continue the process with the rest?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. So I'm going to say that it's a process, and one step doesn't come before another. So I numbered them because that's how your brain works, isn't it? What I certainly found in my experience was it was kind of all at once. It was noticing different things. So we want to be careful not to overwhelm yourself. It's more of a process of noticing where these 12 things will come up for you. So negativity, for example, if you've got people that are not supporting, that could come up for you before, trying to find out what your why is, for example. If you've got a friend, for example, who or often family, family are lovely, but they don't want us to change. They feel very comfortable with us being the person that we are, even if that comfort is uncomfortable. So if you're struggling with trying to let go of someone or something, that could quite possibly come up for you a lot quicker than maybe one of the others, for example. Finding who you are, your uniqueness, that needs context, that needs a challenge. That's when you'll know that situation when you come to it. So I would say it's more of a process rather than a step-by-step guide. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does totally. Thank you. And I know, like you mentioned, the process is going to be different for everybody and
Absolutely.
different times of your life, and just trying to make that process work for you best, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. I'm just going to quickly switch to gallery here. Any final words or comments or observations for Abby? No? Okay, and I'm sure you can reach out to her. Like she mentioned, that will all be in my email following up with you. Look for it either tonight or tomorrow, and we'll make sure to include Abby's links to connect with her, as well as her free ebook. So thank you again for that. And a big thank you very much, Abby, for sharing, because you gave your personal story, and that's sharing from the heart, and that's a lot of what coaching is about, is opening up and being vulnerable and being raw, and we really appreciate you sharing that with us. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. Just a couple quick reminders. I didn't mention I'm actually going to be interviewed tomorrow morning on the local radio here, 8:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, CJBK. They are actually interested in learning a little bit more about power and aging. So I will be chatting about that if you want to join me. And also, if you would like to sign up for any of our events, please do visit our website. If it's not clear or you want some more clarification, just reach out to us. Helena and myself would love to get back to you and make sure that you understand how our program works, both the monthly membership and the 11-week program. This coming Sunday, again, is our big PO workshop. For those of you who haven't taken it, at 1:11 Eastern Standard Time. And then for those of you who are members, we have our group coaching session again at 11:11 on Sunday morning. I'm just reading a couple of these. Thank you guys in the comments. Thank you guys so much for coming. Really do appreciate it, and look forward to following up with you. Oh, one other mention. I'm sorry. We would love if you have a moment of your time and you enjoyed today's presentation or being a part of this group, and you want to leave us a review or testimonial. We would really appreciate it, both on our Google business page, which I think is up and running finally. We got the code today, and our Facebook page. And if you're a member, you'll be invited to our Facebook group as well. And of course, if you have a personal testimonial and want to email it to us, we can post it on our website as well. So thank you guys once again for coming. I really appreciate your time tonight. And we look forward to seeing you at our other events coming up. Next month's guest speaker is a money alchemist, also coming from the UK. So something very different there that I'm sure you will enjoy. And thank you again so much, Abby, for staying up till 1 in the morning, your time with us. Really appreciate having you here.
You got to
Thank
be
you so
impressed with
much.
that. No, it's an absolute pleasure. I wouldn't have done it for just anyone, I'll be honest. But no, I couldn't miss this opportunity to just to support you guys, and and have an opportunity to share my story. It's something that I think when you talk from the heart, it's a lot easier, isn't it? It's yeah, it really is, and it's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure. So thank you, ladies, for listening, and yeah, good luck with whatever you choose to do.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Thank
night.
you, everybody.
Thank you.